in just a minute, but we have Karl Truman here. Good to have you with us.
Good morning.
And I didn't know you were an artist. Now let me hold this up here. I'm going to hold this up. I don't know which camera. Let's go to Patrick's camera or Ashley's camera. Which one? We're going to go to Patrick's camera. Now, Karl Truman's been in the legal business for a lot of years. Now you would think after a lot of years, his artistic ability would improve a little bit. See, look at that, 1-800 accident. But wait a minute, what am I seeing up here? That doesn't say by Karl Truman. Karl, talk about this a little bit.
Well, yesterday I got a call from a family whose son, 14-year-old son, was on his bicycle and hit by a car, and they asked me to come out to the house and meet with him. And that's one of the things that I do enjoy, to be able to get out and meet people and try to help families in tough situations. And wonderful family live down in Radcliffe, and their 8-year-old daughter, Matiana, I want to say hi to Matiana. And while I was there meeting with them, their daughter drew this picture of me.
Oh, that's a picture of you?
That's a picture of me.
Oh, my.
Hello, Karl Truman, 1-800 accident.
Oh, look at those muscles there. Patrick, let's get another shot of these muscles here. Can we zoom in on these muscles here? I know Karl runs, works out, does all that. We're trying. Look at that muscle structure there, Karl. Man, that's cool.
So I want to say hi to Matiana and thank you for the drawing.
This is a very nice picture.
I had to share it with everybody, and I want to put it up in my office.
So you go to Karl's blog, you have a comment, you want to email him about this, hey, send him a picture. If you've been in an accident, you go deal with Karl, send him a picture, we'll put it up there. We may just make that our refrigerator picture of the day later on. What do you think?
Oh, I got to put it up in my office. I can't give it up.
Hey, we want to start off, I think, with an email from Deborah in Meade County. We've gotten a lot of emails, and we do want to open the legal line, too. There's Karl's number, 1-800-ACCIDENT. But you can call the legal line right now. You have a comment on Karl's artistic work here. What do you think that looks like him? Now, give us a call. Workers' Comp, Social Security, Disability Accident, 502-267-2422. We want to take an email. This is one that's been very interesting because you talked about this many weeks ago. This is from Deborah. Deborah in Meade County writes, this spring, a friend of mine got sued by someone who got hurt on his property. Several people cut through the land and fell on a piece of old equipment. My friend, the owner, had no trespassing signs up everywhere. The case has not gone to court. How can he get in trouble when they went on his property? A lot of property in Meade County, thanks, Deborah. So you go on land, trespassing signs are up, hit a piece of equipment, fall in a hole, maybe you go swimming and something happens. Can you be sued?
Well, you can pay a filing fee of $100 and sue anybody you want. That doesn't mean you're going to be successful. And so I don't know what their theory of liability is, and of course, I have very limited information, but there's different standards on property. Mm-hmm. There's what's called a business invitee and a licensee and a trespasser. From the description, it sounds like this person was a trespasser. Mm-hmm. And so unless you do something to have a trap, like if there's something that is clearly a hazardous situation, but if they trip on something that's also called open and obvious, by being a trespasser and having identified as trespassing signs, I think they've got a tough case to make as suing the person or making a claim against the person.
I think you've just offered some not some assurances. You're certainly not the judge, but certainly make that gentleman feel good more as this case goes forward. Workers' Comp, Social Security, have you been involved in an accident? It's the legal line right now on Louisville Live this morning, 502-267-2422. We want to hear from you. And when you're out there making your rounds, I know you have a wide area of coverage in your legal profession. What is the number one item that you work on more than others? And I know you do so much. It's 1-800-ACCIDENT. I would think accidents because they happen all the time.
Well, and of course that's an easy to remember number, but and one thing to point out too about the last topic we were just talking about is, and that's why it's important to have good insurance coverage, because you can rest with peace of mind that if something does happen, hopefully your insurance company, and that's one of the problems sometimes your insurance company is not there to take care of you. Sometimes they turn their back on you, once the claim is made. But it's important to have enough insurance coverage to make sure you have adequate insurance coverage with a quality insurance company. So if you do happen to make a mistake, not necessarily in this situation, or if someone hurts you with uninsured or underinsured coverage, that you have coverage and that you have protection and the peace of mind, and not be afraid to use it. One of the concerns that I have is, a client will come to see me and say they'll be hit by someone that doesn't have any insurance, and my client has uninsured motorist coverage, which is supposed to step in and take the place. And my client will say, well, I don't want to use my insurance. It wasn't my fault. But that's a product that you bought to take care of you in your time of need. And so if you need it, that's why you have it. So don't be afraid to use it. But so often I'll hear people, clients come to see me and say, well, it wasn't my fault. I don't want to use my insurance. And whether it's uninsured or underinsured coverage, that's why you buy that.
And that's why you need someone like Karl out there. We can hold up this picture again. When clients send you pictures, he's doing something right, and he's been doing it here for a lot of years, whether it's workers' comp, Social Security, accidents. 1-800-ACCIDENT is a pretty easy number. A unique question here. I don't know if you can answer this. You're not a doctor, but Thomas in Louisville sent us an email, and he wanted you to answer. I have gotten food poisoning twice in the past year, different restaurants. It's not a good experience, no doubt. I missed one day of work. Is there anything I can do when this happens? My doctor said it was food. It was the food because it happened so fast and was not a stomach virus. And I know you can get a stomach virus. You don't know it. It looks like food poisoning, but usually food poisoning, I've been told, hits in the first hour or two. But Thomas is having some difficulty there, out of work for a day. Is there any remedy for him to resolve this, or any?
Well, definitely don't go back to eat at that restaurant.
Well, is there anything legally missed this day at work? You can't go back and say, hey, I had this, or the ham was bad, or the mayonnaise, or?
Well, certainly call the health department immediately if you suspect food poisoning, because, and typically if it happens to one person, it's going to happen to others too. So, promptly call the health department to report it so they can investigate it to protect the public. But it's really hard because I've had calls like this before when dealing with food poisoning, and the couple issues that we have to deal with is, first of all, tracing it back to this specific restaurant, because without some other testing, or if other people have gotten the same symptoms, the same illness from that, or if the health department came in and tested and found, like buffets are a problem. I've seen it.
But it's not like a national case where you read about a meat packing plant where there's E. coli or salmonella in certain other foods. You hear about those nationwide because it hits many states, many stores, and they say take them off the shelves. You go out to eat.
Right.
It's so hit and miss here.
It's very difficult because, again, if you're the only person that has this, to be able to, by proof, trace it back to this specific restaurant at this specific time, that's pretty tough to do if you're the only person, and without any, again, without the health department checking it and testing, that the buffet, they found the buffet line wasn't kept at the proper temperature and they left their food out too long. It's tough. The other issue that we have in this situation is damages. So often that people will come to see me that the client will say, well, I could have gotten hurt. This could have killed me. And fortunately, it did not hurt the person more seriously. But when you look at the cost of litigation, by the time even though I get paid from a settlement and it doesn't cost the person up front, it's still, when you look at the recovery, is there really going to be anything left for the client? So sometimes I have to tell people, you may have a case, but by the time we add all of the expenses and litigation costs, is it really going to be cost effective for both the client and me? Because, I want to have something to be able to show the client at the end too, and not be eaten up by court costs.
Well, TrumanLaw.com is the website, TrumanLaw.com, and you can also call him 1-800-ACCIDENT for just about any question, because he answers it here. But he's on every Tuesday. We want to take your emails and phone calls next week. But very enlightening. We got a little artistic work, varied emails, and always good to have you in.
Great, thanks.
Thanks.